Today is January 16th, 2018, or 2018, or 18, depending upon your perspective and what you like. And it's the day after we celebrate or whatnot Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Now, MLK is usually MLK Day. Just for those, and I've seen a few comments, MLK is not abbreviation for milk. Just know that, all right? Just please know that. Look, it's past, okay? No one's even talking about it. No one cares. I mean, yesterday, it was also my daughter's birthday, and we tried to celebrate that best we could. And her birthday is gone, but not forgotten. She's still here. Martin Luther King, his birthday is gone, but not forgotten. And yet, he's still here. Now, he's not here physically, no, but there are little legacies of him that carry on. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about his ideology. I'm talking about what he was trying to do for the country. I'm going to start off a little bit rough and just dive right into things that I want to clear up some things, and I want to also just get stuff off my chest. Martin Luther King Jr., look, I have not done research on him, and I never have. I never have, because it's all I've ever done is hear about him. Every January throughout my whole life, MLK Day, and you go over the I Have a Dream speech, you go over his protests, you go over the marches, you go over the black and white footage of African Americans, young, middle-aged, and old, getting sprayed by water hoses by the police, fire department, attacked by dogs. You get to see all that stuff, and then you learn little tidbits of history here and there. You get to know about the African Americans. I can't remember their names. I just can't. But they went into a white shop, sat down, and then there they got abused and disgraced. They knew what they were doing. It was a sit-in. It was a protest. You get to know all this, and see, the reason these things are important is not to say, look at these struggles and they have overcome, we are now good. No, that's not it. The point of showing these struggles is to show who we have been, who we are, and who we most likely will remain to be as a nation. When you have someone like Martin Luther King Jr. walking, marching, and even going against people like Malcolm X for a good time period, because Malcolm X was sick and tired of the abuse, and he said, we got to fight back. And Martin Luther King, they had their issues, and they resolved them, and nothing past those days have changed. And it's hard to put this in context, proper context, because all I can do is just say it. But just contemplate the idea, the ideology, the desire, the need to obtain civil rights. Civil rights. Just the word civil. Just back then, the racist whites did not want black people to have civil rights, equality. They did not want them to have the same things that they had, or have the capability of attaining the same things that they had. That's what they were up against. Did they achieve it? No. They got legislation passed, but legislation is mere words on paper. It's not that it's going to get acted out. An overly logical, rose-tinted glasses wearing motherfuckers piss me off with this. We got the Civil Rights Act passed, so obviously, that stuff isn't happening anymore. No, it still happens. If you got a strange sounding name, it's not Becky, it's not Sue, Tom, Scott, Scotty, or James, or something like that, then most likely, you're going to get turned down for a job. Because one, they don't want to try all day to pronounce your name, because they're not going to respect the ability to do so. They just aren't. My name Look, my name is spelled Sedrik. It's simple, 6 letters. It is literally spelled the way it sounds. So when someone would spell my name with a C at the front and or at the end, it's it always pissed me off because they would tell me I don't know how to spell my name. You know, my mom named me. It's on my birth certificate. I learned to spell my name over my early years, and then they tell me I don't know how to spell my name. So it's stuff like that will piss people off. I mean, I knew a guy named Nathan. He was pissed when I would call him, Nathan or Nathaniel. So imagine those are just little things. It's just name stuff, and yes, it's disrespectful. If someone has a name, you call them by that name. That's why it's disrespectful to call them out of name. But we got civil rights, but it's just legislation. It's hard. It's hard for some African Americans to get jobs. It's hard for, Mexican Americans to get jobs. Unless it's what they're, they're pigeonholed into. And for example, I can get a job almost anywhere labor working. A Mexican American can get a job anywhere doing some form of carpentry. Jewish people, okay, they can get a job working, easily get jobs, in accounting or banking and whatnot. But if they were told to get a job if they were trying to get a job in carpentry, they'd have to almost kind of prove themselves. That's what I was used to, the stories that I heard growing up. And it wasn't secondhand no, it was like from their mouths. It's just from people's mouths. It's Martin Luther King's birthday should have been the first day of not remembrance. All right. It should not have been the first day of remembrance. It should have been the first day of like a season of recollections of, the first day of where do we go from here and get there by any means necessary. Lyndon B. Johnson, I forgot that he was a Democrat. I really did. I mean, I should have known. He let MLK into the White House and whatnot, but that could have just been publicity. But just think about, I want y'all to hear this. LBJ is a Democrat. Now, okay, yes, I know he's dead, but there's history, so I use is. Lyndon B. Johnson is a Democrat who was, because of his base and because he know how other white people are, was denying Martin Luther King Jr. all the proper talks, channels, and denying him the Bill of Civil Rights, the law of civil rights, the federal law of civil rights. He was denying it. So how do you be a Democrat and deny democracy? Just think about that. Just think about it. Think about what Clinton has done. Okay, what did he do? He is a Democrat, and he put in a 3 strikes rule targeting people who carry or smoke weed or who is selling or carrying drugs. 3 strikes means if you get caught for the 3rd time, you go to prison for life, not 25 years, not 35 years. No, for the remainder of your days that you breathe, you go to prison. That's what the Democratic president, the most beloved president by black people, did to black people. Just think about that. Democracy is not what was happening. We don't have democracy. We already know we got an oligarchy. We keep repeating that. Social media, progressive-minded, forward-thinking people keep reminding everyone that we are in an oligarchy because the big donors control the politicians who dictate to the people how everything is going to go. And the people simply have to go, okay, we don't have a choice. We're pissed. We don't like it. We didn't even know this was going on, but okay, we don't have any power. The little guys don't have any power. That's why we had the 99% march up there in New York. What happened to the 99%? They got destroyed. There were lies talking about riots, fighting, trash and litter. they are in a public domain, and somehow the people of Wall Street were able to say that it's a public domain, but it's not a public domain, so get them out. The police walked around casually, pepper spraying people sitting in protest. Pepper spraying them it's not the first time. It's happened on college campuses too. I mean, to sit there and pepper spray someone, pepper spray is meant for someone who is attacking someone, causing harm to someone or themselves, to painfully stun them so you can detain them, rinse their eyes out, get them medical help, and then, resolve the situation, as peaceful as possible. But to stand there and pepper spray people who are simply not attacking anyone, but are also defenseless. That's what people don't understand. Martin Luther King Jr.'s whole march and speeches, he gave more than one speech. Y'all know that. He gave more than one speech. And yeah, you could be mad at me and say, well, you don't know them all. Of course I don't know them all. I don't know all the Bernie Sanders speeches, but I like Bernie Sanders. Not too much, because he quit. He should have fought harder. He should have never gave up. He should have been forced to drop out. Not just, I'm going to quit, but I'm going to put everything behind Hillary Clinton and then she has to earn my voter support. No, he should have kept going. He should have contested. He should have done all kinds of stuff. He should have raised Cain, and he should have put the DNC in check in their place. He should have started the real movement of getting people like what I try to do. It sucks. I'm not a senator. I don't have 40 plus years, doing what he's done. Actually, no, he's got about 60 years. He didn't get into politics until kind of late, but he's always been on the right side of the law, or the right side of history, the positive side anyway, fighting for those good things. And, Bernie ain't going to be around forever. He's just not. So what do we do then? We can't keep putting all of our eggs into the basket of one person. Everyone, white people, black people, Latinos, Latinas, Asians, they put all of their eggs into the basket of Martin Luther King Jr. It won't just black people marching with him. Yeah, white people marching with him too. They put all their eggs in that basket, and what happened? It literally and, metaphorically got shot down. And it just went away. The Black Panthers, they were strong. They were actually they came the closest to world peace. They were in China and other places. They were talking to leaders, presidents in other countries. They were actually going to do it. And the FBI shut them down. They turned them against each other, which when you have egos, it don't take much to turn an egotistical person against somebody else. It really don't. All you gotta do is just whisper something in their ear. Just, well, why does he think he's better than you? Oh, we ain't got that kind of thing, man. Really? Then why did he do this? And there you go. It's done. It's done. You get this stuff happening. And when the Black Panther movement died, when they were assassinated in their apartment, the last few, when they were assassinated, it went away. The movement went away. It fell apart. Why do we need a leader? Are we that tribal minded? Do we really need that one single Messiah to tell us and show us what to do? Seriously. It's like you go to a elementary school and it's time to go from one place to the other, and you see the teacher leading the kids, and then they get to middle school and there's no more lines. You don't follow anymore. You get to high school, there's really nothing to do. You can even skip school. Some skip school in middle school, some in elementary. But I'm just saying, in general, look, this happened in high school, and in college, you're like, I don't even go to class, period. But I take care of the test and I get my learn on, but I don't even go to class. I don't even leave the dorm. Why is it that we need someone to hold our hand and tell us what's right, and then say, I'm going to lead by example? Why can't we be our own leaders to prosperity? Why can't we all just say, wait a minute. We have an oligarchy, but we're in a democracy. No, we're in a republic. We're in a republic. We don't have a democracy. If we had a democracy, In all honesty, if we had a democracy, Bernie Sanders would be president. Do you know why? Because it would have been illegal to shut him out of the debates. Once you have people following you, you have at least a tiny margin. If you got 1 to 3% of voters on your side, you should be in the debate. It is that simple. You should not have to. This is why we're in the oligarchy. You should not have to put out hundreds of millions of dollars just to get your information on TV, just so people can see you. And even if you did put out hundreds of millions of dollars, they might not even put you up there, like Bernie Sanders on CNN. Yes, I'm sure he had to pay for that airtime. But on the airtime, they asked him about who? Hillary Clinton. They asked him, what would he do? What is his plans? Does he plan to support her? Will he support her? How will he support her? Will he be her VP if she asks? And then ask, how is she supposed to triumph over Trump when they was not asking him about his policies. They weren't doing any of that. They tried to use him to advertise Hillary. When you're in a democracy, when you are in a just system, they would ask Bernie about his ideology, his plans. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'm having to hold it together. I wasn't really pretty much good mood when I started this. I want people to not surrender. Don't surrender. That's what I want. Don't surrender, because that way the oppressive government wins. All they want to do is simple. The government plan. What is the political plan of the country? It is very simple. It's so simple that honestly, there's no metaphor for it. There's no analogy. There isn't. The plan is simple. Make sure that the people, the citizens, the middle class and lower are burdened to pay taxes, to raise their taxes. Make sure that corporations and whatnot can raise the prices of their goods. So now the poor, the working poor, the middle class are paying more taxes. They are paying more taxes on the items they buy. They're paying more for the items that they buy. That puts such a strain on them, but they're juggling between bills and food. They don't have the opportunity to say, this is wrong. Okay, they can say it, but they can't do anything about it. I mean, could they go out and protest? Oh, of course they can. But as soon as they protest, they don't have a job anymore, because in order to protest, you got to stay away from work. You have to. You got to stay away from work. So they get fired. These companies are like, hey, we're going to oppress you. And if you try to, protest us, well, you're out of a job. I mean, you took the day off and went out on the street protesting. What'd you get done? Just yelling in the air. Now you're fired. Now your family now they're really going to suffer. That's the whole point. That's the plan. Because if the quote unquote 99% is, because it could be 98% or 97%, but the 99% can't fight back, then all it is the big donors and the politicians, and they just fight over who's going to get the most money. That's all the Republicans and Democrats do. Martin Luther King knew that. He saw that. He didn't like that. He got civil rights, yeah. And what happened? He said, now we got to go after money in politics. We've got to go after the corruption. We got to stop this. We got to stop the needless wars. We got to stop the industrial war complex. That's what we got to do. Lyndon B. Johnson was like, this shit is stupid and it is over. Just think about that. As I didn't even know it until listening to Kyle. I didn't know it until listening to Jank. I didn't know it until listening to Benjamin Dixon that LBJ parted ways with Martin Luther King after he came out against the war, which is primarily at that time the biggest money donor. Now it's the primary money donor. The industrial war machine. That's that's what I call it. It kind of sounds cool, but it's just bankrupting us. We got the most bloated military in the history of this planet, and and people can't go to school. I mean, how do you have a jet that costs roughly one and a half years of the war in Afghanistan? And I think it's been flown once, and you can't make more. When you have a $1.3 trillion jet, you can't risk that being destroyed. That costs too much. You see what I'm saying? That costs too much. So they just took all the taxpayer money, they took all the grant money for other programs, and they defunded other programs to make sure this jet got built so nothing could be done with it. That's where your tax money go. Martin Luther King was against that. And we need to keep remembering stuff like that. And we need to act upon it. I mean, I don't have the greatest answers. I don't. But I don't want Martin Luther King's path stopped just because his birthday has passed. I don't want that. I want it so that we keep fighting on. That's why we have social media. That's why we have the Young Turks. That's why we have secular talk, comparative reasoning, the Texas Progressive. We have all of these areas on YouTube and outside of YouTube. The problem is it's not getting the heat that it needs. It's not. It's strange, isn't it? Because if you look at the Young Turks, they've got over 3 million subscribers. If you look at Kyle Kalinske, he's got over a million subscribers. Benjamin Dixon, he's got like 26,000 or something. I'm just going on these flashes of memory that I have of seeing the subscribe number at points. But how do you have so many millions? I mean, that's millions of people, and they aren't spreading the word properly. They talk within their inner circle. That's what it seems like. And if you talk within your inner circle, you know what that becomes? A bubble. Bubbles need to be burst. That's what needs to happen. Bust them bubbles. You need to talk to those that are in your way, not those that are simply on your side. You talk to those on your side to get wisdom, strategies, clarity, understanding, and sort of debate new types of things. You talk to those outside of that because that's how you started. That's what you do. I want you to think about this. Here's a comparison. I think it's a good one. I am going to sell you on the idea of breathing in fire and smoke and things that'll clog your lungs. Now, I'm going to sell you on this and you're going to enjoy it. Now, it's going to hurt at first. It's going to burn. I understand. It's going to make you cough. You're not going to feel well for a little bit. You might even think that you can't go on in life. But trust me, when all that passes, you will pick it up again and you will do it all over again. Now, it's going to hurt, probably just as much. But when you keep doing it in time, you'll adjust. But also, what I wouldn't tell you, but I'm just going to let you know it in advance. You're not going to be able to stop. I mean, you can, but it's hard. See, you won't be able to stop. So, and my ad, just to inform you, I'm going to raise the prices on this stuff that you need. So this stuff that you're smoking, that you're filling your lungs with, you won't be able to stop it. And you're going to be hooked. And you're going to come back to me. I'm the one that hurt you. I'm the one that got you addicted. But you're going to come back to me because you can't get rid of me, because if you do, you're going to ruin your supply. Now, question. Knowing that in advance, would you then say, I'm going to buy from you? I mean, only a fool would. Only a fool would purchase such a product. And that's just my opinion. Only a fool would purchase such a product. And you know what? It spread, didn't it? Smoking spread. It spreaded like fire, like wildfire. Everyone was doing it. It was cool. It even had mascots. It was all, now it's all over the world. And think about how dangerous smoking is. And there are people doing it right now. But here's the thing. It's not cool anymore. It's not. The truth commercials and whatnot, spreading it, letting everyone know why there were cigarettes, why they were addictive, what was in the cigarettes, how many people died. the lack of care for those people. That's what, to me, it's a good analogy. It's great comparison to how the government is killing us, how it is controlling us and making us fight each other, and how it's spreading propaganda of all levels of hate to its bases and making sure that we fight each other. And you know what? We bought it. We all bought it, and we're all just smoking it. And we need to stop. And there's a lot of people out there that still do it. Just plain smoking cigarettes. I mean, you could go with the e-cigarette thing, but those are blowing up in people's faces. And it's funny on cartoons, but then in real life, when your lips are gone, you're a monster. That's a terrible thing. I don't want to look at somebody's grill like that. So smoking, no matter how you put it, is not good. And that's what we have. We've got a country that's not good. We're not good here. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't want white people hating black people anymore. He didn't want that. He didn't want black people hating white people. He didn't. I don't. Anyone of a decent mind don't want people hating people just because they're not that person. You ain't black, fuck you. If you ain't white, fuck you. You're not Asian, fuck you. You're not Mexican, fuck you. Okay. Well, everyone fucks each other and fucks each other over so much, so royally. I'm surprised that not everyone is simultaneously pregnant. And then again, that's just life, ain't it? Is that what we're really here for? Is that the great grand scheme of things? Just to hate each other? It can't be. It just can't be. And I think that's what Dr. King was trying to say. Let's get this thing right. Let's push forward. Let's not give up. Lyndon B. Johnson got rid of him. He didn't give up. He started fighting money and politics in the war. He got killed. He had a dream and it died with a bullet to the body. That's what happened. I mean, every day we forget. Every day we do nothing. Every day we just stay cloistered in our homes or cloistered in our bubbles or our circles. Every day we just nod our heads and forget. Or we go to church and pray instead of going out and act. Because 4 hours in church could easily be 4 hours, writing letters to Congress, talking to people about the next stage on how to, end the money in politics, signing people up for wolf-pack.com. There's a lot of things. And every day these things happen, it's just another bullet to Dr. King's head. Every day, every year, every decade, every generation. There's more and more bullets to Dr. King's head, to his legacy. And I think that should end. I think he should stop getting shot. He should start removing bullets. I think he's full enough. This is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.